Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about growing up in a narcissistic home, also sibling interactions in that type of environment, and also what can we do to break this cycle. So here are some of the defining characteristics and examples of growing up in this type of home. Number one, emotional manipulation. Narcissistic parents often use emotional manipulation to control their children. They can guilt trip them, shame them, gaslight them, making them doubt their own feelings and perceptions. So as an example, a narcissistic parent might constantly criticize their child's appearance or their abilities, and this can cause the child to struggle with their self-esteem and also their self-worth. Also, when they have lack of empathy, the narcissistic parents typically struggle to understand or validate their child's emotions. They can dismiss or ignore their child's feelings, leaving them feeling unheard and invalidated. So as an example, if the child expresses sadness or frustration, a narcissistic parent might respond with indifference or even anger, dismissing their emotions as unimportant or overreacting. Parental grandiosity. Narcissistic parents often view themselves as superior and expect their children to reflect positively on them. They may view their children as extensions of themselves rather than as individuals with unique needs and individualities. So as an example, narcissistic parent may pressure the child to excel in specific areas solely to enhance their own reputation or to brag about the child's achievements, disregarding the child's own desires or interests. Also, role reversals. In some cases, narcissistic parents may expect their children to fulfill their emotional needs or act as the parent's caretaker. This places a burden of responsibility on the child that is developmentally inappropriate. So as an example, a narcissistic parent may confide in their child about their personal problems or seek emotional support, reversing the parent-child dynamic and depriving the child of a nurturing and secure parental figure. You often see emotional neglect. Narcissistic parents may prioritize their own needs and desires above those of their children, leading to emotional neglect. They may be inconsistent in providing this emotional type of support, and this will cause the child to feel unseen and unimportant. So the parent, they may dismiss their child's need for attention or affection, focusing solely on their own desires and leaving the child feeling neglected and emotionally starved. So it's essential to note that growing up in a narcissistic home can have significant emotional and psychological impact on individuals, such as low self-esteem, difficulties with trust and intimacy, also anxiety, depression, challenges in forming healthy relationships. So the effects of the siblings within this household. Growing up in this type of home, it has a profound impact on the sibling relationships within the household. The dynamics between the siblings can be influenced by the narcissistic parent's behavior and the individual responses of each child. So here are some ways in which growing up can affect these type of sibling relationships. You get your sibling rivalry. Narcissistic parents often create a competitive environment among their children, pitting them against each other for their own amusement or to further their own agenda. And this can lead to intense sibling rivalry and a lack of healthy cooperation or support. So the parent who is narcissistic might overly favor one child over the others, and this creates that sense of competition among the siblings just to get their parents' attention or approval. You also have enmeshment and role assignments. In some cases, narcissistic parents can assign specific roles to each child, enforcing rigid dynamics within the family. One child may be designated as a golden child, receiving that preferential treatment, while another may be the scapegoat, blamed for everything that goes wrong. A narcissistic parent may consistently praise one child and dismiss or criticize the other, creating a divide and fostering resentment and jealousy among the siblings. You can also have sibling alliances where siblings growing up in a narcissistic home, they can form alliances or bonds as a way to cope with the challenging dynamics. They may find solace and support in each other, understanding the struggles they face within the family. So siblings may share their experiences and feelings about the narcissistic parent, providing validation and understanding to one another. And this can help them navigate the difficult environment. There's a lack of emotional connection. Narcissistic parents often prioritize their own needs over their children's emotional well-being. And this can result in a lack of emotional connection and support between siblings, as their individual may needs may go unaddressed. So siblings may struggle to provide emotional support to each other due to their own emotional challenges resulting from growing up in a narcissistic home. They can find it difficult to express vulnerability or trust each other. You also have sibling scapegoating. Narcissistic parents sometimes will encourage or manipulate siblings to turn against one another, using one child as a scapegoat to deflect attention from their own shortcomings or to maintain control over the family. So as an example, a narcissistic parent may blame one child for the family's problems, encouraging other siblings to join in the scapegoating, which can further strain sibling relationships and create a hostile environment. And it's important to recognize that each sibling's experience within this home can vary, and they may respond differently to the parent's behavior. Some siblings may develop a sense of camaraderie and support, while others may struggle with rivalry and conflict. So how does birth order affect siblings in the household? And so the birth order, which is the position of when the child is born within the family. And this can play a role in shaping sibling relationships in a narcissistic home. The interactions between siblings may be influenced by their birth order, as well as the dynamics created by the narcissistic parent. So the golden child versus a scapegoat. Narcissistic parents often assign different roles. One's a golden child, and the other one is blamed for the family problems. So as an example, the oldest child may be more likely to be designated as the golden child, as they are seen as that extension of the narcissistic parent, and they may be expected to uphold the family's image. Now, the younger siblings may be more prone to being scapegoated or overlooked. There's parental expectations based on birth order, which can create unique pressures and dynamics within the sibling relationships. These expectations can shape how the siblings perceive themselves. The oldest child may be burdened with greater responsibility and pressure to succeed, while the younger siblings may feel overshadowed and neglected due to the parents' focus on the older sibling. You also have role model. Older siblings may serve as role models for their younger siblings in a narcissistic home. This can result in the perpetuation of dysfunctional behavior patterns or internalized narcissistic traits among siblings. So let's say the oldest sibling adopts these, getting tongue-tied, adopts the narcissistic traits to gain the parent's approval. Younger siblings may observe and imitate these behaviors, and there goes on that cycle of narcissistic dynamics within the family. There's also a protective influence. Older siblings may assume a protective role over the younger ones, acting as a buffer between them and the narcissistic parent. They may provide emotional support and guidance to their younger siblings. So there's sibling hierarchies. Birth order can contribute to establishment of these hierarchies where older siblings have more influence or power within the family dynamic. This can impact how the siblings relate to one another and their interactions with the narcissistic parent. So it is important to note that birth order can influence these relationships, but it's not the sole determining factor. But how do we break this cycle? It can be challenging, but it can happen. If people put the effort in and they're willing to do it. So seek individual therapy, establish boundaries, build a support network, foster healthy communication. Learning effective communication skills is essential to breaking the dysfunctional patterns. It involves expressing feelings, thoughts, and needs in a respectful manner, while actively listening. Healthy communication can help family members develop understanding and empathy towards each other. Educate yourself. Understanding narcissism and its impact on family dynamics is key to breaking the cycle. And educating yourself about NPD, its traits, and the effects on relationship can empower you to make informed decisions and navigate these challenges. Practice self-care. That's you hear that over and over again. It can increase your self-esteem, also practice mindfulness, consider family therapy. A skilled family therapist can help facilitate open communication. I do one-on-ones as well. And break the silence. Breaking the silence surrounding the dysfunction is an important step towards healing. Encourage open discussions within the family about the impact of narcissism and the desire for change. This can help family members validate each other's experiences and work collaboratively toward breaking the cycle. It's a difficult dynamic. Not many narcissists really do want to change, but we can't enable it either. There's a time that we have to take a stand. That's what those boundaries are for. And when you continue enabling, allowing the abuse to happen, and I know it's not our fault that they're the way that they are, but there's certain things that we can do to protect ourselves and to hope that they can take it seriously, because it is serious. I hope that was helpful. One-on-ones are available. Please share if this would help somebody. Like, comment, and and just do what you're supposed to do. Thanks so much for watching.